What's up guys, it's Sludge. I'm back here with a brand new video. This video I'm gonna be reviewing 17 by Xxxtentacion. Let's get right into it. Alright, first song, The Explanation.
17. A collection of nightmares, thoughts, and real-life situations I've lived. 17 is a number tattooed on the right side of my head. My own personal number. Soon to be explained in future interviews or instances. By listening to this album, you are literally, and I cannot stress this enough, literally entering my mind. Words, I put my all into this in hopes that it will help cure or at least numb your depression. I love you. Thank you for listening. Enjoy.
So that was the first track, The Explanation, and it really was just an explanation. Just like the introduction to his album, telling everybody, I guess, basically just what he wants, like, us to get out of it. I guess that's kind of admirable, because he's like, I don't really give a fuck about what you say, all that kind of stuff. So I think it's an interesting way to start an album, because it's not really music at all. But yeah. Alright, so the next track is Jocelyn Flores. And a little background about this track. Jocelyn Flores was somebody that he cared about a lot. I'm not sure if she was his girlfriend, but she committed suicide, and this song is dedicated to her. So let's listen. So right off the bat, there's like pretty good, like the singing and the guitar. It's like nice and muffled, and it creates like this kind of somber tone. I really like that so far.
I know this song, thinking about her again.
So obviously Xxxtentacion isn't the best singer. I think that's a pretty well accepted thing, but I think his voice is actually working pretty well with the track so far, and the beat is really smooth, like the guitar mixed with the vocal sample, especially when at the end of the hook it says, like, I've been feeling, like it's about to get into his verse, so it's what he's feeling. It's just really interesting use of the vocal sample. It's pretty cool.
Pain. Wanna put 10 shots in my brain. I've been tripping about some things can't change. Switch all the same time on tape. Put you this in bag of a phone call. Girl that you fuck with, kill herself.
I really like that verse. Very short. A lot of the songs on this project are pretty short, but that was a really nice verse. It just gets out his emotions. Since the first track was like really an intro, that's like a very nice start to the album. It gets all of his emotions, like just puts them out there. So I guess I'll listen to the rest. Alright, so that was track 2, Jocelyn Flores. What I got from it is, well, besides the vocal sample, it's very good. Like the vocal samples like makes the track, because although XXX doesn't really have the best voice, the whole like the guitar in the background, like the chords, and then the subs on the song really make the song a lot better than what it would be if it was just X singing without anything. Because again, not the best singer. I think that's a very good way to get your feelings out, like at the start of your project, just so you basically, like, so you can tell everybody what's going on. So the third track is Depression and Obsession. What I noticed right away is there's more guitar on here, and I think it's kind of interesting that he chose to go this route, just because as a rapper, a lot of times you're not gonna sample guitars. I know, like, there was that Wild Thoughts track that came out over the summer from DJ Khaled's album, which used the guitar riff, which used it pretty well. But I think this is kind of this is an interesting approach to rapping. Just the first two actual songs having just guitar on them.
Depression and obsession don't mix well.
I like how he has like the little his voice is like toned down low in the background. It's pairing pretty well with the chords on the guitar. And I like how kind of the guitar is kind of sloppy. Like, it's not played the best. I just think that's a pretty cool way to use the guitar in a rap song, which I already said, but yeah. So that was track 3, Depression and Obsession. I like this track. It's clear that he's using autotune because, again, X doesn't have the best voice, but I think the autotune is pretty tasteful on this track. And although he repeats himself a lot, I think that just like the way that the guitar is just like periodically just coming in, like it's just the same thing over and over, but for some reason it works well. I love the way that on one of the guitar chords they just let the 6th string ring. It's like a little bit, it sounds a little bit messy, but I think that's kind of the point of the track. It's like just him, again, it's him getting his feelings out. I think starting to see like a sort of pattern. Track 4, Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares. So again, there's more guitar, and I know that the person that they're using for the guitar in this song, I think his name is Shiloh Dynasty. It's working pretty well. He has a pretty good voice, so yeah, it's working pretty well with the song so far. So I'll keep playing it.
Tell the feeling like I'm trapped in my damn mind. Tell the feeling like I'm rapping a damn lie. Tell the feeling like my life is a damn game. Nigga really wanna die in the nighttime. Only time I feel pain when I'm feeling love. Tell the feeling like I'm rapping a damn lie. Tell the feeling.
So he's just repeating himself really again. And I think the mixing so far, the mixing isn't the best. Just with the vocal sample in the background and his voice, I think they could have maybe lowered the vocal sample a little bit just so he could come through clear. But other than that, I think it's been pretty decent so far. Not my favorite track that I've listened to yet, but it's not bad. Keep listening.
My life is a damn game. Nigga really wanna die in the nighttime. Nigga really wanna die in the nighttime.
That was track 4, Everybody Dies in Their Nightmares. It was pretty repetitive, and like I said, the mixing could be better, but he's still putting his feelings out there. I just feel like he could have put more than just repeating. I guess it was a hook, but it was really just the whole song. It was another pretty short track. Like, all the tracks are under 3 minutes on this, but it was pretty good. Again, not my favorite. Track 5 is called Revenge. It's 2 minutes. There's more guitar again, and he's doing the same kind of vocal riff in the background that he did on Depression and Obsession. So yeah, it's pretty similar, I feel like, so far. This song just makes me want to like chill and relax. It's still pretty like depressing. Like, it's so nice and like soft, and like the beat in the background is just like very subtle. This is shaping out to be my favorite so far on this project. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's already halfway over anyway. It's only a 2-minute track. Let's keep listening. I'd actually have to say that that's my favorite track so far. At the end, it did get a little bit messy, and I think the first hook or the first verse was in just, it sounded like less auto-tune, and then his voice got pretty auto-tuned, and I think if he kept it consistently not auto-tuned throughout the song, it might have came out a little bit better. But overall, it was a pretty good track. Track 6 is called Save Me. This almost reminds me of like a Pink Floyd type song. Just, it feels like very like, it's not really, I guess it's pretty simplistic, like, I guess prog rock, I want to say. Yeah. Because the drums kind of remind me of, like, at the beginning, the little drum riff into it, or the drum roll. It kind of reminds me of Pink Floyd. Okay, so I thought like the first verse kind of sounded like Pink Floyd, but then it goes into like this kind of like, I want to say like Nickelbacky like hook, but it's like Pink Floyd and then like Nickelback. It seems kind of odd. Okay, so that was track 6, Save Me. One thing I've noticed is that X isn't really putting in much into his songs on this album. He's really just repeating a hook a lot of the time. And although that works for some of the songs, I feel like it really fails for this song because there's just a lot of empty space in the song, and it feels like it's very just empty, and it could be filled with a lot more, like maybe he could say something about his feelings. Obviously, X is not close to Pink Floyd. I'm just saying he could have filled it with a lot more emotion and a lot more like intensity. That was track 6. Next is Dead Inside Interlude. So I guess it's just an intermediary track. That was track 7, Dead Inside Interlude. I think that's actually a pretty good interlude track, although, again, he's repeating himself over and over, which really is kind of what an interlude is. It's just kind of like a break in the album. But I think although the piano was really him just barring F and G, or maybe not even him, I think it was probably a sample. It was just him barring F and G with his left hand, like, kind of meddling around with his right hand, which is kind of funny. Because it works pretty well with the track, just because it feels pretty spatial and pretty raw, and it's pretty good interlude. Track 8 is called Fuck Love, featuring Trippie Redd. So the thing with this track so far is that I would think that it would be good alone. I don't think it works with the rest of the album. And all of a sudden you come in with just this like banging trap beat. I don't know how well it works with the rest of the project. Let's keep listening. Alright, so that was track 8, Fuck Love, featuring Trippie Redd. That doesn't really fit with the rest of the album, I feel like. It's a good song. It's a pretty nice, trappy song. It just really breaks up the rest of the album. And I don't know if that's what he was aiming to do, because if he wants to be edgy or different or whatever. Track 9 is called Carry On. That kick just hit so hard. The effects on his voice sound pretty good with because Shiloh Dynasty, his voice is always, I think, under like some sort of filter, or at least the recording isn't that good. So X sounds pretty good.
Lights to just carry on with this pain inside of my chest. Got no choice but to carry on. Carry on like flights to just carry on.
Again, I just noticing that he's repeating himself a lot with a lot of just space in between everything. That was track 9, Carry On. And again, that was another track. Like I said, it was just repeating. And again, I think Shiloh Dynasty really makes the track. The tracks are enjoyable to listen to. I just feel like technically it's just not a really good, it hasn't been a very good like rap album. Track 10 is called Orlando. It is the longest track on the album at 2 minutes and 43 seconds.
In my heart just won't end. The words that I find just don't seem to convey. Just
So strangely, I think this is like the least repetitive track besides Jocelyn Flores, and I'm liking it so far. It's still pretty spatial. Other than that, I'm liking it so far. Alright, so that was track 10, Orlando. What I noticed actually was, just because I play piano, like, I feel like they could have done more than just played 3 chords over and over the entire track. They could have maybe, I don't know, put some variations on just how they played it. Other than that, I think it was a pretty good track. Again, it wasn't too repetitive, then it got repetitive later in the song. I mean, it's like depressingly relaxing in a way, if you know what I mean. Track 11 is Ayala. I think that's how I should pronounce it. Ayala outro. Like in this track, like Orlando was just the same 3 chords, but they're kind of putting variations on the end of each chord, which really improves just any time that you're just playing chords on piano. Alright, so that was the Ayala outro. I thought it was a pretty good outro. Like, there was a little bit of like trap influence at the beginning, and then towards the end it got like sadder and went back to the rest of the album. So I think that was a good way to execute the end of an album. That was a pretty good song. Alright, so that was my review of 17 by Xxxtentacion. I thought it was a pretty good album, and there was just too much space in between everything, and a few tracks were kind of out of place, like Fuck Love. In general, he gets done what he's trying to accomplish, but I think he could have maybe added some more feelings in there. Overall, I'd say the album is a 6 out of 10. Just some technical flaws, like the mixes were sometimes lacking and his voice was drowned out by the beat or the sample in the background. So I think a 6 out of 10 is pretty solid. So yeah, decent project. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Sledge. This is my second video. Hopefully it was an improvement on the last one, which admittedly was horrible. But yeah, thanks for watching. The links to my social are in bio, so please check them out. And see you next video. Thanks.